Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by COOLBET Canada.
Thursday in the Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here for another episode, and hopefully we can deliver a few more winners for you tonight. Dusty and Huss with you once again. Make sure if you're watching on Twitter or you're listening to the podcast, subscribe to the new YouTube channel. After a perfect night in the National Hockey League, saw that number bumped up a little bit last night, Huss. And why not? 6 for 6 plus the Lock Shop play of the day hit yesterday. So a perfect night in the Lock Shop. It was great.
Man, some pretty juicy parlays. I think I was plus 375. You were just over 5-1. And I got to tell you, speaking of that Lock Shop play of the day, I have to give you props for that, in that you picked one of the few guys to not get a point and did it against your own dude, Jesse Puljujarvi. And the Oilers scored 8 goals and he still didn't get a point. That was a very prudent. It was probably difficult to make that pick, but it was correct, and I know a lot of people were riding with that one as well. And the Dylan Cousins point happened 3 minutes into the game.
In. Yeah, that was good. He had 3 points in the first period. Should have gone over 1.5. I was a coward.
Wish I had a Tage Thompson over 4.5 goal prop last night. What a bizarre,
what would the numbers have been on that one, hey? Man,
great.
Buffalo.
But yes, I know it sounds like this is a bit of a not even a humble brag, just a straight brag and a Barry Horowitz. But at this point, folks, this is not bragging. This is a PSA. If you like money and you like winners, subscribe to the damn YouTube channel and join us daily, because we've been hot lately. And last night was a perfect example of how things have been rolling as of late in the Lock Shop. And I will say this: I've got less confidence about this Thursday nighter tonight, which we're going to get into. This is a very bizarre game, but I'm just happy we got another week of NFL football back. Although I don't know about you, the minute I see we're starting week 14, I start getting that nervous feeling that the end is near for the regular season. Then there's the playoffs, and I'm already dreading the worst day of the entire calendar year, the Monday after the Super Bowl, when we have to wait another 5 or 6
You're already dreading it, eh?
Well,
it is worse. I'll be mock drafting fantasy for next year, so we don't have to. I always find a way to get my fix. So before we give you our picks, we should just note Wolford game time decision. If he can't go, Baker Mayfield starts for the Rams tonight, which I am totally here for. But this is a tough game. This is a game, Huss, that I don't think I'd be eagerly going out to bet outside of maybe Raiders money line and some parlays with some hockey games or something tonight. Because I don't know. I mean, the number right now this morning is at 7. We see the picks. I moved it back to 6.5 at -111 and took the Raiders. We've been riding together on a lot of these things. And I think tonight's game, it's not surprising that we're going to go head to head on this one, because this is a tough one to get a read on, buddy. I'm not going to lie.
I agonized on this game, and it's such a bizarre situation with the quarterback quandary that the Rams are in, and the fact that Baker, who's had a miserable season, gets picked up off on waivers 2 days ago and might be the starting quarterback tonight. I mean, it's a disaster for the Rams. But that being said, I don't trust the Raiders very much either on a short week. I mean, they were able to beat the Chargers, or what's left of the Chargers, last week. And Justin Herbert played with basically their practice squad protecting him. And it was still, right there going down into the fourth quarter. When in doubt this year, I've taken the points. And listen, as I said, I could not feel less confident about this pick, at least for the side right now. I do think it makes sense that the Rams are getting a touchdown considering their predicament. And listen, I know Sean McVay is a brilliant offensive mind. I just don't know what he's working with tonight. And I'm not even sure if he knows what he's working with tonight. That being said, they're going to need their defense to step up. And that is why I think I feel better about the under 43, partly because I just don't know how the Rams are going to manufacture any points. Now, I mean, they did put up 23 last week against Seattle. And Seattle's defense isn't that great. But then again, you've got an injured quarterback and a guy that may or may not be able to go. And if not, it's Baker Mayfield, who probably doesn't even know the names of the guys in the dressing room yet to find the playbook. So listen, as I said, I agonized about this one going one way or the other. But when in doubt, go against the Raiders. That is maybe my Chiefs bias showing up. And listen, at home, playing for next season right now, I don't really think that the Rams are likely to win this game. The money line is plus 250 for them at home. But man, 7 points is a lot of points right now. And as we'll get into some of the other picks a little later on, I'm not expecting a massive shootout by any stretch of the imagination. And to be honest, I don't think the Raiders are going to need to do that either. I think we're going to see a lot of Josh Jacobs. I think we'll probably see a lot of ball control. I think we'll see the Raiders trying not to make any mistakes. And if they don't do that, they probably should win the game. But I do think we might have a more low-scoring affair. And that's why I'm taking the under 43 at minus 110.
Yeah, if anybody between us should avoid the Raiders this season, it's me. I'm pretty sure I've written them off 3 times. And when you sent your picks over to me earlier today, I was like, yeah, makes sense. I mean, I'm probably going to be on this with Huss. Then I started to dive into it a little bit. I'm like, Vegas's offense over the last 3 weeks, number 1 in the league, averaging 7 yards per play. Carr is playing very well right now. Adams has been an absolute monster. I mean, their offense is basically, here's Josh Jacobs, and there's Devontae Adams. I mean, that's basically all they operate on, but it's actually worked. I mean, they've won 3 games in a row, and it's not on the strength of their defense. It's on the strength of their offense. So with the banged-up Rams defense, the Rams have actually given up 26 points or more in 4 straight games, and then 6 games ago, they gave up 31 to the Niners. So the Rams defense has been surrendering points. I know they're still not bad against the run, but obviously without Donald, that's gonna hurt them. So I think the Raiders score 24, 27, 30 points tonight. And then it all comes down to what the Rams can do offensively. And you pointed it out, and this is the reason I went with it. Sean McVay still is an offensive mind. And, that offensive mind led to a couple of touchdowns last week for Cam Akers. I mean, they don't have a lot going on offensively, but I don't think you need a lot offensively for McVay to generate offense against the Raiders defense. So I think I'm going to be sweating heavy on this over 42.5 at minus 106. But I'm going to roll with it. I mean, the Raiders offense has been pretty darn good as of late. And you said it. The Rams have found a way, despite not having a lot of offensive weapons, to generate some points. And I don't think the Raiders defense is one of these defenses that are coming out and locking it down. For all we know, we're sitting here tomorrow going, man, Baker Mayfield throwing for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns, the most Raiders thing ever. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've kind of convinced myself to go back to the Raiders once again. They need it. The Rams are done. The Raiders need this one. If they can string together a couple more wins, there's no reason they can't track down the Jets here for that final playoff spot. So maybe the Raiders are becoming now what we thought they would be-ish at the beginning of the season. So I'm going to be on the Raiders minus 6.5, and I'm going to be on the over 42.5 and a little bit of a sweat here. I could see this being 40. I could see you hitting a push. Maybe I get it because I adjusted it down to 42.5.
Yeah, you're exactly.
Or maybe
right.
There's 18 total points in this game and it's a dud. I don't know.
Well, and to be honest, that is where I would lean one of the 2 ways, and that is why I'm looking at my other 2 selections not being prop for players, but props for the game. And listen, the one bet that I like the most, and this is not going to surprise any regular viewers of the Lock Shop, is the one that's got the best number, although it's lower than it's normally been. For the first time all season, our over 3.5 field goal prop is actually below plus 120. It's at plus 113. But to be honest, I mean, and this ties in with the other bet that I'm making, even money for under 4.5 touchdowns in the game. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the Rams don't even get into the end zone, period. Yeah. So we're going to get the over 3.5 field goals. Obviously, you got the indoor stadium in SoFi. You'll have perfect kicking conditions. And I think for a team like the Raiders, who will get into field goal position, I don't think they're going to need to be aggressive. I don't think we'll see a lot of going for it on 4th down. I think they'll be more than happy just to take the points, stack them up, and put themselves in a good position. And to be honest, I think Matt Gay might be the offensive player of the game for the Los Angeles Rams. So give me the over 3.5 field goals. And at the same time, and I guess this is sort of a correlated pick with the under 43, under 4.5 touchdowns for the game tonight. I'm not expecting any sort of a shootout. And as I said, I think the Raiders can be conservative. I think they can play ball control. I think they can play smart. I think we'll see a lot of Josh Jacobs, who has just been phenomenal as of late. I mean, the Raiders offense right now is really a 3-man unit. It's Carr, it's Adams, and it's Josh Jacobs. And I think Jacobs is in a position tonight to have a big game, to keep moving the chains and hopefully moving the clock throughout the game, which definitely will play into a positive result for the under in those two props.
Well, I have said I do think the Raiders can score against this Rams defense right now. And if they are going to score, it's Davante Adams. I don't know why this is still a plus money number. He's got 7 touchdowns in his last 5 games and is the only guy that Carr will throw the ball to. The fact that we're getting it at plus 100 is just terrific. So I'm on an Adams TD at plus 100, and I'm going to go on Derek Carr to go over 249.5 yards. He has done that in his last 3 games. Like I said, this offense, here's Derek Carr the last 3 games. Tennessee, Arizona, and the Chargers. So not great teams by any stretch of the imagination, but teams that technically are just as good as the Rams, if not better. All of them are better. 303 yards against the Titans, 252 against Arizona, 295 against the Chargers, and 2 touchdowns in each of those 3 games. So I think Derek Carr goes over 249.5 yards tonight, and Adams has been over like 120 yards in 4 of his last 5 games. And, another bet that it's too chalky to throw in to one of these, but I'm planning on parlaying it with a few bets in the National Hockey League tonight. Davante Adams to lead this game in receiving yards, in my opinion, should be like minus 500. It's minus 250. So it's minus 250. So, name a player who's going to have more receiving yards in this game than Davante Adams. There's no answer.
Unless Josh Jacobs busts a couple 80-yard screen passes. I don't know.
That's the only way around it. So I'm taking that Davante Adams minus 250 to lead this game in receiving yards and parlaying it with basically every hockey game I like tonight, because I think that's money. It's minus 250. It should be more. So I like it at minus 250.
I do have one receiving prop that I may as well throw in, and it's the other guy. Waller's gone. Hunter Renfro's gone. And Mac Hollins is the clear-cut number 2 right now.
Yeah, what's his number at?
His receiving prop is over 3.5. And just looking at, he's gone over that number in the last 3 games. 2 of the 3 games, he's had 9 targets. You're going to have
like that.
A lot of attention on Davante Adams. So I wouldn't at all be surprised if that secondary option is something that Carr does look to. But it doesn't change the fact that it's the Jacob show, it's the Adams show, the Carr show right now for the Raiders. But what we see from the Raiders, I guess, we'll find out when they kick off tonight at SoFi Stadium in a game where, let's face it, both of these teams didn't expect that they would be in the situation that they are right now. But you are right. The Raiders have shown a little bit of life right now. They're 5-7. They definitely have the chance to, win this game and get back into a pretty significant, playoff race in that AFC. You look at the teams that they beat, though, the Broncos, the Seahawks. That was a good road win in Seattle, actually. And then that home game against the depleted Chargers right now. They got the Rams, then the Patriots at home, Steelers on the road. That's going to be a tough game. Home to the Niners and home to the Chiefs. I don't like their chances, but the chances are basically null and void if they don't get a win tonight.
I'm already thinking I'll have a bet builder for this game tonight. And I'll tweet that out later from my count at Nielsen TSN 1260. This is one of those games where if I really want to get emotionally into it, give me a bet builder. Give me 5 or 6 different things on a parlay tonight and see if we can hit that as well. Like the Hollins thing, get Hollins in there, get a Davante Adams touchdown in there, probably going to be the Raiders to win. All of a sudden you get yourself a nice number. So something we can do too.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think I'm just going to be back with doing what I've been doing for the last few weeks and has been successful, and that is cheering for the defense, cheering for the offense.
You're a sick bastard, Huss. Cheering for the defense.
About the 30-yard line, and then it's all defense. Get those field goal kickers out. Put it through the uprights. Let's get 4 field goals. Cash that sucker, and as they say, we'll see what happens with the spread and the total. My lowest bet of all of these is going to be on the Rams +7, a little bit more on the under, and then the 2 bigger bets that I'm going to make, even money on the under 4.5 touchdowns, and the the juiciest one of all, over 3.5 field goals. You got to love it. And it's been so good to us. How could we stay away from it at all, especially on a game like tonight with this many questions about the offenses?
Over 3.5 field goals has become a lock shop auto bet in primetime. There's no debating it. It's worked well, and we'll continue to do it moving forward. There you go. That's a quick 15 minutes on the Raiders and Rams. Very convenient to watch or listen to as you get ready to bet this game tonight. Tomorrow, a little bit of a longer episode, obviously, as we'll get you our best bets. Might even mix in our partner parlay a day early again as well. Huss, talk about that here as we work our way towards that episode tomorrow. So yeah, best bets tomorrow. That guy over there, Huss, has been absolutely red hot so far this season with the best bets. So make sure you're back with the Lock Shop tomorrow for more winners, buddy.
Yeah, you got it. Just quickly, for folks that are paying, we got a big Jets game tonight in St. Louis. That one opened up as a pick 'em. Jets now -118 and St. Louis at even money. I'm probably staying away from this game. This game does make me nervous for St. Louis in that they are so desperate right now. They've been so streaky. They're on another losing streak. They're now in 6th place in this division. I think 3 games under 500. This is as close to, I expect a real desperate St. Louis team tonight. But a couple of other interesting games, Nashville and Tampa, LA and the Leafs. By the way, we talk so much about Connor Hellebuck. I was with Jake in Qatar, and he was talking about the Leafs nonstop because he's a big Leafs guy. Matt Murray. He mentioned, Matt Murray might be pushing Hellebuck for the Vezina, and I sort of laughed, and then I saw he had a 44-save shutout of Dallas the other day. What a crazy story that is right now. They have like half of their defense core out, and Matt Murray is turning into the guy that won those 2 cups for the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's a pretty amazing turnaround for the Leafs. They're a big favorite against the Kings, who, of course, played last night as well.
Dallas Stars looking to bounce back after that loss. They get Ottawa tonight, and that number's been moving in favor of the Ottawa Senators, actually, for some reason. So I don't understand that. I bet the Stars last night in a parlay with the Raiders, and they were -201 last night, and it's at -194 or something right now, I think. So something to keep tabs on as well. I like Dallas to get that job done, I would think.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Dallas Stars, I think they look for a big bounce back game from their shutout loss at home. And I guess I was thinking that game was yesterday, but no, it was 2 days ago when the Kings beat the Senators at home. So they're not on back-to-backs. But anyways, we'll see. Red Wings, Panthers being in their first game at home after a long road trip. Do with that what you will. They're a big favorite there right now. And man, the Red Wings quietly are 13-7-5 right now. I mean, we haven't talked much about them at all. They haven't been a team I've watched very much. They've actually been getting a few results so far this year.
Yep, they've been turning things around, buddy. They had a nice start, and it's kind of continued. So that's what's happening tonight in the National Hockey League as well. Best bets for Week 14 in the National Football League tomorrow right here on Lock Shop YouTube channel and, of course, on the podcast feed, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe today. Huss, we'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
Take it easy, dude.